All right, so today we're doing surface area of triangular prisms. Yesterday we did surface area of rectangular prisms, and today we're moving on to the different type of prism, triangular prism. So there are still two bases, but they are triangular bases. So those triangles at the ends, those are your bases. And then your lateral faces, remember that's everything excluding your bases. There are three rectangular faces that connect the bases. So when you're finding your lateral surface area, you're only finding the surface area of those three rectangles. The height of a triangular prism, or h, is the distance between the two triangular bases. So here, you have a triangular base here, and you have a triangular base here, and your height is that distance between your two bases, so it would be here or here, which is the distance between those two faces. So since we're still working with prisms, we use the same formulas. So our lateral surface area is going to be capital P times H, capital P being the perimeter of the base and H being the height of your prism. Your total surface area, you do the exact same thing, perimeter of the base times the height of the prism, plus 2 times area of the base, because you have two bases and you're finding the surface area of those two bases. So your first step for solving is going to be shading in your triangular bases. So you have one up front here and one in the back here. All the other sides, your lateral faces, are going to be rectangles. So you're just looking at your triangles right now. Your first step is your capital P, that perimeter of the base. Your base is 5 centimeters by 12 centimeters by 13 centimeters. You can see it here in the back. So you need to do 5 plus 12 plus 13, which should give you 30 centimeters. And since it's perimeter, you don't square it. Your height is given to you right here. It is 10 centimeters. And then last thing, your area of the base. The area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So your area is going to be 1/2. Your base here is 12. And then your height can never be diagonal, so it's going to be 5 centimeters. So 1/2, 5 times 12, which should end up giving you 30 centimeters squared. Same thing for number 2 here. Your first step is going to be identifying your triangular bases, but if you'll notice, it only shows you one. But we can assume that there is a second triangular base back here. We just can't see it because we're not on that side of the prism. Your first step again is your perimeter of the base. Your base is 5 by 6 by 5. That 5 is back here. So 5 plus 5 plus 6, which should be 16. So 16 feet. Your height is 8 feet. Again, your area is 1/2 base times height. So you should have 1/2. Your base is 6 feet. And your height here is 4 feet. So 1/2, 6 times 4, which should give you 12. So 12 feet squared. Okay, so I went ahead and skipped to number 5. The first thing we're going to do is identify our shape, and we're still working with a triangular prism. So I need to identify my bases. It is these triangular shapes. The first thing I need to do is find the perimeter of the base. So that is 20 plus 25 plus 15, which should give you 60. Your height, you can see right here, is 22. And then your area is still 1/2 base times height. So that is 1/2. Your base here is 20. And then your height is 15. So 1/2, 20 times 15 will give you 150 units squared. So then moving on to finding lateral surface area, we're going to use the same formula for finding a prism, which is capital PH, or perimeter of the base times height. So then we need to plug in our numbers. Our perimeter of our base was 60 and our height was 22. So when we do 60 times 22, we should get 1,320 units squared, or just U squared. And that is our lateral surface area. Our total surface area should be capital PH plus 2 times capital B, which is perimeter of the base times height plus 2 times area of the base. So again, we have 60 times 22, and then plus 2 times the area of our base, which was 150. And when you get that all typed out, you should have 1,620 units squared. Okay, same first step. This is a triangular prism, which means our bases are going to be our triangle shapes. Those little dashes just mean that those sides are equivalent to each other. Our first step is going to be perimeter of the base. So we are going to do 6 plus 5, and since they're equal, so 6 plus 5 plus 5, which should give you 16. Your height here is going to be 8, and then your area of your base is still 1/2 base times height. So 1/2, our base is 6, and then our height back here is 4. So 1/2 6 times 4 will give you 12 units squared. Moving on to lateral surface area again. So we have perimeter of the base times height. So 16 is our perimeter of the base times our height. So 16 times 8 should be 128 units squared. Again, you can write it out or just put U squared. And then total surface area should be capital PH plus 2 capital B, or perimeter of the base times height plus 2 times area of the base. Those formulas will be given to you on your star reference sheet. You'll always have them in front of you, so you don't need to memorize it, but you need to know what the capital letters mean. So again, for capital PH, we have 16 times 8 plus 2 times our area of the base, which was 12. And when we multiply that all together, you should get 152 units squared.